Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beilen Victory Podcast. It's episode 34. We'll get right into it. We'll start, obviously, with the Urban Meyer Ohio State scandal. And then we'll go back into our ranking series of defensive rankings. And then also here, still to come, we'll have final Big Ten and national rankings. So the big story of the day, Urban Meyer and the Ohio State football program under Big is in big trouble. Story is ex-wide receiver coach Zach Smith, who was working under Meyer for a while, and there was an interview with his wife. The alleged story is that he was committing domestic violence against his wife, that his wife told Urban Meyer's wife, but nothing was ever done about that, and that was in 2015. Now, if this is all true, we don't know if Urban Meyer's wife told Urban, but if this is all true, Ohio State will obviously have no choice but to get rid of him. They have placed him on administrative leave, and Ryan Day is taken over as the coach. If this is all true and Meyer does get let go, this definitely hurts their chances next year. They will not have a chance to win the Big Ten. Michigan and Michigan State will become the two favorites to win the East. This is tough to hear. Top level program like this, probably the third best program in the country for the last few years, maybe go down like this, and you really don't want to see that out of any program, even as a rival. You don't want to see that, and it's gonna be bad news for Urban Meyer if this is all true, and it's gonna be bad news for that football program, especially the coaching position. They're gonna really go downhill, and recruiting wise for the future, it's not. This is. They better hope this is not true, but I don't know. I gotta hear the other side of the story first, but this sure sounds bad. Now, this is a similar situation to what Michigan State was in, but I think this is a little bit worse for Urban Meyer. The choices for Michigan State were to get rid of D'Antonio and get away from all the heat their football program would take, or keep him and face some of the heat. I don't, but in this case, I don't think Ohio State has a choice if this is all proven. So if this is proven, he will be out of there. I don't know if he's going to get another job after this, but you don't like to see this from one of the better coaches in the country. Just hope that this isn't true, and guess we'll see. All right. One other thing too. This team is run by Urban Meyer. If Nick Saban left Alabama, it would be a similar effect. This team is going to go from an 11-1 or 10-2 team to a 9-3, 8-4 team if he is let go. So I can't see them doing anything really this year if he goes. And it's unfortunate. It's a big time program, but I mean, you got to face the consequences for your actions. So we'll see. So we will continue our ranking series today. And we will start with number 14, and always number 14 on pretty much every list we've done. Illinois. Really, just the 12, 13, 14 here are going to be pretty consistent for every list. They just don't have the talent. Indiana's in the Big Ten to play basketball, and Rutgers and Illinois are in the Big Ten for who knows what reason. They are terrible, both of those teams, on both sides of the ball. Illinois just has a little bit less talent than Rutgers, but they're not going to do anything this year. Maryland, with all these top recruiting classes, they always get ranked towards the top in pretty much in a lot of categories. It always surprises me because, they have all these recruiting classes, and DJ Durkin has all these great recruiting classes, and then he goes 3-9, that's great. So I like them to prove a little bit more. I know Nebraska's defense was brutal last year, but I expect Scott Frost to improve some of that. He's a very good coach. Led a team with not a lot of talent to an undefeated season and a win over Auburn last year. So, Purdue, they did lose a few people, but they went to a bowl last year. I think they're going to be a respectable defense, and goes for the same as Minnesota. Um, I expect Minnesota to maybe be a bowl team with 6 wins, but they'll be a respectable defense. It's really in the top 7 here. We get into pretty good defenses. Northwestern is going to be pretty good, um, and their offense should help their defense a little bit. They have a good quarterback, should help to keep the defense off the field, and it'll help them give up less points. And then Iowa had a very good season last year. They're always starting seniors, so them losing people not really affect. I don't think it's going to affect them too much. I think they're going to be pretty good. And then obviously you have the top 5 teams here. And the worst defense of the top 5 teams has got to be Michigan State. Um, but I mean, they have Joe Bocci, he's pretty good, but they do have. Um, they weren't great last year. They do have the best offense, and that's going to help them win a few games. But I got to see more out of this team defensively if they're going to go and win a Big Ten title. They have to be a lot better defensively. They have to be at least to that Wisconsin level defensively if they're going to win a Big Ten title, in my opinion. Penn State was very, very good last year. They did lose a few people on defense, but I expect them to come back again this year. James Franklin does a good job with that defense. I expect them to come back, and they're going to be decent this year. I don't see them tanking. I mean, obviously their offense is very good with a good quarterback, one of the better quarterbacks in the country, and obviously the best quarterback in the conference. But their defense is going to be their X factor. I think it's the same thing for them and Michigan State. Their defense is definitely their X factor. These top 3 teams, you got to look at their offense to the X factor because their defense is proven. We start with Wisconsin. These 2-3 was very tough for me. Wisconsin returns a lot of seniors. They have T.J. Edwards, who may be the best defensive player in the conference. Very, very good. I expect them to be very, very good, especially in a West division. They shouldn't be giving up a lot of points. They don't have to play a lot of tough teams. They go across to the East to play some good teams. They're going to play Michigan. But they should not have a problem rolling through the West, winning these games, and not giving up a lot of points. Their defense should have a nice ride to a bowl game and probably the Big Ten title game. So I expect their defense to be good. And then this has really been a constant for a while now. Michigan and Ohio State, just the most talent. A lot of 5-star recruits on both sides. I did give Michigan the edge. They're returning a lot of guys from a top 5 defense last year. So I do give Michigan the edge right there, but Ohio State's defense is no slouch. Very, very good defensively. But you never know now. Urban Meyer could be gone. I don't know. All right, so thank you for watching. We'll be back next Wednesday with our final Big Ten rankings. Also, you can watch me on the Big Four podcast. Next episode's coming out tomorrow. We'll discuss the Urban Meyer scandal and more. Hopefully we can stay tuned in, and hopefully this report is not true about Urban Meyer. Wish them the best from that standpoint anyways. Well, thank you for watching. We'll be back next week.